So attacks are imminent as tensions rise between the United States and China. And a lot of people think that these attacks are not going to impact them. However, you would be terribly mistaken. These attacks that are happening right now are cyber attacks. We've seen them in the past year. We've seen them this year. We are going to see them moving forward. So I want to address why we're starting to see an increase in these cyber attacks, what this means for us moving forward, and what you can expect in the near future. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So first off, why are the Chinese putting kind of a cyber attack army together? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Some of the cyber attacks that we have seen over the past year, these were tests. That was it. They were just simply testing us to see how we react. If we actually see these cyber attacks, and can we find out who was the one behind them? Well, guess what? We figure it out every single time. But here's what's happening. Right now, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services. Okay? It says a utility in Hawaii, a West Coast port, and a pipeline are among the victims in the past year. Those are just the things that we know about and that the United States government is willing to tell us. We also saw different reports where we were seeing hospitals were getting hacked. We were seeing banks that were simply being hacked and they were moving money around. This was happening. And the crazy part is these were just tests. That was all it was. When they are serious about things, that's when we are really going to experience the cyber attack. But listen to this right here. It says the intrusions are part of a broader effort to develop ways to sow panic and chaos or snarl logistics in the event of a U.S.-China conflict in the Pacific. Okay? Keep that in mind. Because right now, again, it just says, among the victims are a water utility in Hawaii, a major West Coast port, and at least one oil and gas pipeline. That's it right now. But the problem is we are seeing that these hackers are getting in and they're putting these little things into place because when they are ready to really shut things down, they could probably do that at a click of a button. But why would they shut things down? Well, it has to do with China, the United States, and the biggest issue right now is Taiwan. On Saturday, okay, just this past Saturday, so 2 days ago, Taiwan had an election. They had their presidential election, and they chose to go with, his name is Lai Ching-te, but he is the Democratic Progressive Party. He's part of that party. Now, that party wanted to keep things as is. So wanted to keep Taiwan separate from China. But there's another party that wanted to reunify Taiwan with mainland China. And that was exactly what China was hoping for. But just so you know, Taiwan's election is putting pressure on a delicate U.S.-China tie. Right now, it says right here, victory by Lai Ching-te, seen by China as a dangerous separatist, will test efforts by Biden and Xi Jinping to steady relations. This is going to really test the United States and test China, because what we know is that the United States and Taiwan, they're pretty much backing Taiwan. But we don't want China to take over Taiwan because Taiwan holds about they produce about 60% of the world's semiconductors, about 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors. But the United States, they came out and obviously we congratulated the new leader, right? We congratulated the winner of this previous election. Now, what China says is this. China says the U.S. is gravely wrong to congratulate new leader. Okay. Well, here's where things are going to go from bad to worse. We already heard that President Biden said he does not approve of Taiwan being, independent. Okay, we saw that came out just the other day on Saturday. But that's where things all started. That President Biden came out, and then the U.S. congratulated the new leader. That's where things really started to ramp up. And then look what came out just the other day. This came out last night. It says U.S. plans to send an unofficial delegation to Taiwan to meet its new leader amid tensions with China. How do you think that's going to go? It's not going to go over well. Okay? This is something that we are going to see is not going to go over well. According to the Associated Press, I just want to read you this right here. It says the Biden administration will send an unofficial delegation comprised of former senior officials to Taiwan shortly after the self-governed island holds an election for a new president this weekend. Obviously, this was published the other day. It says a move that could upset Beijing in an already fragile bilateral relationship. That's what we're going to see. Okay, and the reason why I bring this up, and I think this is interesting, is because the United States continues to say, and President Biden says this every single week, that he does not want more conflict. He doesn't want to increase tensions around the world. He doesn't want to increase tensions with China. But everything that we do is increasing the tensions between other countries. For example, the United States and Russia, the United States and Iran, the United States and China. Everything is increasing tensions. Even the United States and Mexico. Mexico, our neighbor from the south. We are even causing issues there. So all I can tell you is that these cyber attacks, these are things that are just being used as tests right now. But from what we are reading, from what I'm seeing, is that all these small little tests, they're putting things into place. They're putting these little pieces into place that eventually, if the United States and China's our tensions just turn so high, right, and we turn into a massive conflict, or a conflict breaks out over Taiwan or the Philippines or something else, guess what? China could have the pieces already in place, while the United States is going to be, years behind. So that's where we're at this time. Now, the one thing I can tell you moving forward is that the FBI has said they are going to keep a close eye on this. We know Homeland Security continues to monitor the current situation, monitor tensions around the world as well. All we know is that they tell us, and again, this is all we know, that they don't want this war to widen. That's it. They just don't want the war to widen. Okay. Well, that's all we know at this time, but I promise, as we learn more, I promise I'll be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All you gotta do is two things. First one, hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. The second thing, click that subscribe button. Make sure you tick that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I will see you guys on the next one.